Then by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and
Ah,
says,
come on.
"There's
Don't even know why. I just felt.
Completely nailed it. Okay. Wow. What is going on, guys? What is going on? In today's video, we're going to be going over Qwen3-TTS. This model is completely amazing. People say that it's 11 Labs killer. I don't completely agree. By the way, this model was launched earlier, but it was through an API, and now they just completely decided to give it away. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna be going over it. The model comes in two variants. It's the 0.61 billion parameters that usually requires around 4 GB of VRAM, and then you have the bigger, more high quality model, which is 1.7 billion parameters. That takes approximately 6 GB or so, give or take VRAM during inference. Anyways, yeah, let's get into it. These are the things that you're able to do with the model. Before we start generating audio and whatever, we just have to, talk a little bit about the model, the architecture, and what have you, right? So, yeah, this is the things that they let you do. The first thing is obviously you're able to clone a voice. So to clone a voice, you're leveraging a technology called zero-shot voice cloning, which basically means that you're able to provide the model with a very short reference clip. Again, it can be like 5 seconds, right? And it's able to clone the timbre and the prosody of the voice and sound pretty accurate. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be the same as a fine tuning, but it's going to get you like 80% of the way there. And this is actually applicable in both the zero point 0.6 billion model, which is mobile, edge friendly, and also the high quality one. And the other thing that it also lets you do is obviously design voice. And by designing, this basically just means that you can kind of think of it like text to image generation, right? But with audio. You don't pick a speaker, you describe it, right? It doesn't give you like a list of set of speakers that you use. You just describe how you want the speaker. Like, for example, like a 70-year-old chain smoker from Vegas who's skeptical about, I don't know, technology or something like that. And based on that specific prompt, the model generates a brand new voice from scratch based entirely on your text description, which is very, very similar to text to image. So that covers voice cloning when you feed it a reference audio clip and it clones that voice. And then we have the voice design where you create voice basically from scratch by simply describing it. And lastly, we have the TTS, text to speech, which is basically the custom voice, right? The model uses 9 predefined high quality reference speakers, right? Like Ryan and Serena and whatever. And I mean, you can't necessarily change who they are, but you can control how they speak through instructions. And you can basically adjust things like emotion, where you can say things like sad, angry, flirty, whatever. And you can also tell the model if you want him to speak slow, fast, whisper, shout, whatever. I mean, you get the point, right? It gives you total control. And another thing that's very impressive with the model is that it's able to pronounce this kind of like math formula kind of things very fluently. And we're also going to be testing that out, okay? And next we have, I mean, yeah, this is like the benchmark, and they're saying that it's effectively beating top competitors. And one of the key things that they provided in their benchmarks was that it was able to clone the voices better than the paid giants. Obviously, that's a big deal if that's actually the case, which we're going to be finding out pretty soon. And it also achieved lower error rates, meaning that it can speak more clearly, and it also has a higher similarity score, meaning that it sounds more like the original person. At least this is what they're claiming, than both ElevenLabs and MinMax. I mean, that's a very bold statement. And another thing that they also claimed was that it can talk for a long time. Most AI models, when you try to get them to like speak for, let's say, 5 minutes or something like that, they usually start to break. But they say that Qwen3-TTS can generate 10 minutes of continuous dialogue without necessarily breaking. And they also claim that the audio quality is near lossless. And the crazy thing about this is that the team actually built a completely new tokenizer from the ground up. That's basically the engine that processes the sound. And lastly, before we get into the meat and potatoes, we're gonna be going over the architecture of the model. The thing that makes this model so powerful is that at the heart of the very system It's like a large language model, right? It's not just a sound generator. And the beauty of this is that it allows the model to take things into consideration, right? When you give it text and instructions. Like when you say something like speak warmly, the model will actually take that into account before it spits out the audio. So, the model doesn't sound robotically or whatever. Yeah, and also notice the think tokens here. Yeah, so before the audio generation, the model actually takes a split second to actually think and plan the emotion, pacing, and the tone, things like that, to ensure that the speech sounds natural. So that's what the speak token does. And then we have the MTP module. Instead of predicting one tiny piece of sound at a time, which is very slow, the model is able to predict multiple layers of audio code simultaneously, right? This makes the generation pretty fast. And then we have this, the streaming codec decoder. The model generates something called codec tokens, which is just compressed audio data. And the streaming decoder instantly translates these codecs into actual sound wave as they arrive. So you don't have to wait for the model to get the entire text. It will literally start speaking as it's getting the text. You can kind of think of it like ChatGPT. Like when you talk to ChatGPT, you tend to see the text streaming down, right, as it's coming. You're not waiting for the model to like you don't see like a spinner and then see the entire chunk of text. You see it gradually come in, and this is the same thing. As the text is gradually coming in this instance, if it was an audio pipeline, Qwen will basically take that text as it's coming in and start speaking it. Yeah, so that's like the streaming part of it. Okay. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Okay. So yeah, we basically type in the prompt here, and then we have the voice description, like how you want to, basically the style instructions, right? And I'm just gonna use the format of their actual site, which looks like this, right? I mean, this is how they format it. So I just took the same format and I ran it through ChatGPT and told it to mimic it. So yeah, so we have this. This is the prompt that he's gonna be saying. Listen, kid, this tech is junk. It's a scam with shiny. Blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, very negative. The model is pretty good at picking up the language. I tested it with German and Portuguese, and it was able to pick it up. So I just usually leave this alone. And mind you, it's gonna be generating this from complete scratch, right? And after it has generated this voice, you can then take the voice and clone it or fine tune it or whatever, and then use it into your pipeline. Okay, so we also have something called max new tokens. It's 2000 by default. I just leave it at 2000. I also added this. Doesn't really make any difference. I tried to regenerate the same seed, and it sounds a little bit different. It's not like 100% locked in. But either way, as long as the voice is recognizable, it's not a problem. Anyways, like hits generate. And by the way, voice design is only available on the 1.7 billion parameter model. Okay, so yeah, let's listen.
Listen, kid, this tech junk is a scam with a shiny screen. Every update makes it worse. Every app's begging for your data, and the robots ain't helping nobody but the suits. I don't trust it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess. The voice is very, very professional sounding. However, I wouldn't say that this sounds like a 70-year-old man. And the voice isn't necessarily, it's not like ashy and rasp per se, but it's not bad. Anyways, let's try another example. Okay, so now let's try a British-ish female anchor. I mean, this is gonna be interesting. I'm not sure if it's gonna pick this up, but I mean, let's give it a try. So this is a typical intro that you hear from like a news show, right? Good evening. Tonight we're tracking the latest developments. Anyways, so yeah, again, I'm just following the format that they have on their site, right? This is how they're writing it themselves. So I'm just following that and I'm adding it here. So this one took approximately I mean, 25 seconds to generate. The first one was a little bit longer, and the reason for that is that was the first generation. So the model had to be loaded into VRAM and stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, and also you can see that it peaked at 4.11 gigabytes. And again, this is the 1.7 model because the other one can't do voice design. It can do clone and text to speech, but not voice design. Anyways, let's listen.
Good evening. Tonight, we're tracking the latest developments and what they mean for you, starting with the headline story and the key details you need to know.
It's fine. I give it like 5 out of 10. If you're using this in production, it's a no go. But if you're just playing around or you're using it like in internal training or something like that, it's passable. But I wouldn't use this in a professional production. It also sounds a little bit robotic, so to speak. But then again, this is a voice that's completely generated from scratch. So it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Now, let's move on to the voice clone. Basically, voice cloning uses a technology called zero shot voice cloning. You can feed the model like a very short audio clip, right? It can be 3 to 5 seconds. I mean, that's enough. And the model will, just based on that very short audio clip, be able to clone the timbre and the prosody of the voice. Obviously, if you give it more, it will be a lot better. But just 3 seconds in itself is very impressive. And we're going to have so much fun right now because I'm going to be trying this out on very distinct voices. We're going to have a Jamaican Badman, right? So we're going to be cloning that voice and then having it speak something else. And then we're going to be having a British news anchor that actually sounds like a British news anchor. And then we're going to be having like a Nigerian female that speaks, that Pidgin English. And the reason why I picked these specific voices is just to see how consistent the model is able to be in terms of like keeping the tone and the dialect of the source audio in the new generated one. The British one, the female news anchor, it's probably gonna nail. I'm not really worried about that because I know they trained it on the standard English and American English. But the Jamaican Patois English or Nigerian Pidgin English, I mean, and I haven't tested this out, guys. So we're gonna find out live how this works. Okay. Anyways, let's get into it. So to load up audio, you can just drag it in here. We're going to start off with the obvious one, which is the British voice, because it's probably going to nail it, but just this test. So this is how it sounds like.
And finally, tonight, an urgent appeal from a family in Kensington. Police are searching for Barnaby, a 3-year-old golden retriever who went missing during a walk in Hyde Park this morning. He was last seen near the Serpentine, wearing a distinct red tartan collar. His owners describe him as incredibly friendly.
Yeah, you get the point. Anyway, so that's the voice that we're going to start off with. And then we are going to clone it and take it from there. Okay, so yeah, let's go. Yeah, by the way, before we start, you can, if you want to, type in what she's saying here. And this is like supposed to allow the model to better clone the voice. I tried with and without, and I actually think it sounds better if you don't type in anything here. Because it can be the way that, especially when it comes to like dialects, the way that people speak dialects, if you type it in straight text, it tends to like kind of deviate away from it. But if you leave it, it does a good enough job, at least in my opinion. But you can try. But I don't type what she's saying in here. The model tends to pick that up pretty decent, anyways. So in order to generate an audio, if you don't have the text in, you have to check this. And this is Gradio, by the way, the UI that I'm using. And it actually comes with the repo that Qwen provides you with. So yeah, so this is the voice. And let's have her say something that's completely irrelevant to news. Yeah, so let's try this typical voiceover reading. And I only want to try out the 1.7 billion model because I want the highest quality. I don't really care for this one. All right, so the audio is done. And by the way, it says I forgot to remove this actually. This is not Hugging Face at all. This is run locally. Okay, just so that you know. As you can see here, when you're cloning, this is where you kind of have to have a stronger graphics card because the peak here was actually 8.39 gigabytes, which is a lot. And this wasn't even a lot of text. But yeah, anyways, it took around 46 seconds. Let's listen to it. And I just got this prompt from Qwen, directly from Qwen. Okay, let's listen.
Then, by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and says, "There's no place like home," I got a little bit teary, I'll admit. You know, I don't even know why, I just felt.
This is not bad at all
But he is likely frightened and confused.
because you can obviously tell it sounds exactly like the voice. This is very impressive.
And finally, tonight, an urgent appeal from a family in Kensington.
That the original voice and then the clone one.
Then, by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks.
Extremely impressive. Very, very good. Anyways, so that's like the British one. Now, let's get into the fun stuff. So we're gonna be trying the Niger woman first. This is how she sounds like.
Critical system alert. Timestamp 0800 hours. Fatal exception detected in module 47 alpha.
Right? I mean, she's like pronouncing like an error log or something. So how is the model gonna take not only her dialect but the things that she's pronouncing and speak this out? Okay, I mean, yeah, let's find out. We are done. We are done. Took just under a minute, guys. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Let's see.
Then, by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and said,
Come
"There's
on.
no place like home," I got a little bit teary, I'll admit. You know, I don't even know why. I just felt.
It completely rinsed her. What? She doesn't sound like the original audio at all. So it's obviously not trained on these extreme dialects, right? Because this is the original one.
Free address 44 Bravo is unresponsive. Stack trace confirms a buffer overflow in the main drive.
It doesn't sound like that at all.
Then, by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and says,
Completely rinsed her. Damn. Anyways, that didn't work. Now let's just for fun try this one out. This is Jamaican Jamaican Badman. Okay, let's listen to this one.
Yo, brethren, listen to me good. You feel say me forget about you? You dodge me cars like everything Chris? You taking me for idiot. Listen, I don't ask you nicely. You have 24 hours to run me paper. 24 hours. If the money no reach me hand by tomorrow night, don't make me have to come look for you. You know how I stay. Fix up.
24 hours. Okay, so we take the Jamaican Badman. Obviously, we're gonna make him say this. I don't doubt that. But I don't think the model is gonna be able to keep that patois English he's speaking. But anyways, let's see. Okay, let's listen.
Then by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels
Ah,
and says,
come on.
"There's no place like home," I got a little bit teary, I'll admit. You know, I don't even know why. I just felt.
I mean, it's fine. It's not as bad as the Nigerian woman, but it's nowhere near this at all.
I don't ask you nicely. You have 24 hours to run.
Or was, right? It's very, very distinctive.
Then by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and
It did get the timbre though, so that's not too bad actually. But is it a zero shot clone? I wouldn't say so. In this instance, I would actually fine tune the original voice, go that route instead of using zero shot with this model. This model is better at the obvious type of voices. And we have a final one, which is a more, in tune with the model, but it's also distinctive though. And that's the typical movie trailer voice in a world, blah, 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 blah. So let's see how the model goes about cloning that.
In a world where silence is the only weapon and hope is a forbidden memory.
Right? It's obviously English, so the model is going to be able to nail that. I don't doubt that at all. But he has a very distinctive way of pronouncing the words. So I wonder if it's going to be able to pick that up. So yeah, I mean, let's see.
Then, by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and says, "There's no place like home. I got a little bit teary, I'll admit. I don't even know why. I just felt."
Completely nailed it. Okay. Wow. And we have to test out the model's capabilities of pronouncing this type of equations, right? So let's hit run and see.
I am solving the equation x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Nobody can. It's a disaster. Very sad.
Very impressive. The model is very, very good at, cloning the typical Western English. It has no problems with that at all. But once you kind of like introduce dialects and stuff, it's not that good. I'm pretty sure it will probably nail Indian English, but I wanted to try African because I don't see a lot of people try that. And also the West Indies, just to see how it fares there instead. But unfortunately, it wasn't fully capable of that. But in terms of like the Western English, it nails it completely. So that's pretty solid. I'm very, very impressed. So now we're gonna go into the last one, which is the TTS custom voice. So in this section, you're actually able to pick between 9 predefined high quality reference speakers. And the English ones are Ryan and Serena, but they also give you a ton of others. And obviously, I'm going to be trying out English on the other ones as well that are not necessarily meant for English. And yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily change who they are, but you can control how they speak through instructions, right? So you can adjust things like emotions, if you want them to sound sad, angry, flirty, and even things like speed, right? If you want them to speak fast or slow or what have you. And even whispering and shouting and all that jazz, right? So yeah, anyways, let's try, I don't know. I want to try one that's specifically meant for the Asian market. And I'm just going to see, yeah, they use Uncle Fu obviously here in the demo. So I'm going to use Uncle Fu as well. But I'm going to give him a English prompt, of course. So let's just take a prompt from this site. Obviously, the language is English. Hit generate. All right, let's see.
Then by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and says, "There's no place like home," I got a little bit teary. I'll admit. I don't even know why. I just felt.
This is very good. Now, I wonder if adding style instructions is going to add any difference. Let's try that. Okay, so let's test this out. So we're going to be trying Uncle Fu with with a very sad announcement of something that happened to him on Tinder. And let's just see how it sounds like.
She said she would be here by noon, but she blocked me on Tinder.
That's actually not that's pretty good. Okay, let's try very happy. Very happy to get blocked on Tinder.
She said she would be here by noon, but she blocked me on Tinder.
Sounds very British, but okay. Block me on Tinder. And another thing, the reason why I tried only in English is because I don't understand other languages anyway. So I couldn't tell if it's accurate or not anyway. So so that's why we only kept it to English. And also before I forget, if you want to transfer like the native dialect into English or another language, this is basically how you go about that. So in the TTS custom voice setting, you basically write obviously the language you want them to speak. And if you want it to be a German English accent, then you select the German language here. And if you listen to it, you will obviously see that it sounds like a German speaking English.
Then by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and says, "There's no place like home," I got a little bit teary, I'll admit. I don't even know why. I just felt.
Right? And let's say we wanted it to sound, I don't know, Japanese. We will select Japanese here. Let's try another voice. Let's try a female one. Let's try Vivian and hit generate. Click play.
Then, by the end of the movie, when Dorothy clicks her heels and says, "There's no place like home," I got a little bit teary, I'll admit.
You know,
Okay, it's not completely stable. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, this is how you go about it, anyways. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys were able to get some value out of this video. Be sure to hit like and comment and subscribe, of course. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Peace.